Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be planting this GreenStalk Tower Garden. As you can see, I've got my GreenStalk shirt on, so that's what we're doing today. Just by visuals. I got this shirt from them as well. So today we're going to, I have a 5-tier system, and originally I was going to do all 5 tiers, and I was going to put them just off to the side by the fence, and then I thought to myself, it doesn't get full sun all day there, so that's really not good for growing some vegetables. I might be able to do things like a big impatient tower in the future, or something that is shade tolerant, maybe some coleus or whatever, but I wanted to grow some vegetables in it this year, so I need to be in a full sun spot. And if it was in a full sun spot, or it will be, I don't want to be as tall as 5 or even 6 feet, as tall as this thing gets. So I'm just going to do 3 tiers. And if 3 tiers seems a little bit low, I might do 4. But I'm certainly not going to do 5 because that's just going to be a little bit too much for my deck, and it will be the only focal point that you'll see, and I don't want that. I want this to be just its own little thing doing its job, but not the focal point. So anyway, let's get to it. These are the little water dispersers. If you haven't seen the unboxing video, I'll show you all the little bits and pieces that come along with it. I'll post a card up in the top corner. So just check back. It was many months ago that we did that. So these distribute the water between the levels, and they rest right on top of these little cones. So if you rest one of these on there, you can see kind of where the soil level needs to be. So we're just going to fill it just below that line. So basically it's going to be about maybe 2 inches below the surface of, or the top of the pot. So it's going to take a lot of soil. For soil, I'm going to be using, you can use whatever you want for containers. I can't lift it. It's a huge bale of Pro Mix, and it's just basically a peat-based soil with some perlite in it. It's got mycorrhizae, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's that beneficial fungus that promotes good root development and flowering and fruiting and all that stuff. So I don't know much about that, but it does contain it, so that is a good thing, I think. They wouldn't be putting it in if it wasn't a good thing. So I'm just going to be filling these up. So I'll start the process with you, but you don't need to watch the whole thing because that'd get a little bit boring. Got my scoop, and through the magic of the internet, you will just see these all finished, and we'll stack them up, and then we'll get to planting, the most important thing. Okay, so the first one's filled up. I've compacted it down a little bit. I might need to add a little bit more extra. I'm going to be watering these in before I stack them initially, just so that they are nicely evenly moist. And yeah, let's just fill the rest of them. So we're finally full of soil, so let's just give it a good water in. This will level off any of the soil and get rid of any air pockets, and also bring it down to its right level. If we need to add more soil, we will. We'll know at this point. It's good to fill the containers with soil prior to stacking them, because you don't want to get soil through here after you have these trays on there, because if you have it all together and then you're putting the soil in as you're stacking, soil will go down in here, and then it will fill into these trays, and it will stop the flow of water. You don't want that. So this is the best way to go. A little easier too. When stacking these things, having a little bit of weight really helps you out. It will make these considerably heavier though, if you're a little bit smaller. So just be mindful of the weight. You don't want to hurt yourself. Get some help if they're too heavy, or just water them partially and then stack them and then water them again. Okay, so they're watered enough, I think. So let's go and stack these up on the tray. Okay, so I was sent a saucer for this that's also a Lazy Susan, so I'm able to spin my plant. This thing actually holds up to 400 pounds. So it's pretty stable, which is fantastic. And now I can turn my plants as the day goes on. Maybe every week do a quarter turn so that everything gets a good amount of light. And so I'm just going to set the first tray down, and as you can see, it spins beautifully, nice and easily. Make sure it's centered on here. We're going to fit the first little water disperser there, and I don't know whether you're able to see it here, but there's a little bit of a gap down in the bottom, which is perfect. That allows the water to trickle down through these little holes. Let me show you. There's little holes in here, and so that the water will trickle through. If the soil was touching these little holes, it might restrict the water flow through. So then we're going to take these, and the bottom of the pots here have little notches, and the notches fit into the tops of the other one. Again, watch the unboxing video and we'll go through all of that. It's a long video. This one I just want to be putting it together, and we'll plant it. And we're going to get the last one. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit more. And the last one will go on here. This will give me 18 planting spots, which is phenomenal for just a small little space. There we go. And as you can see, we've got this thing that will turn very easily. And then this is the big water reservoir. This is what you'll fill with the hose, and then it will trickle through the whole system. And this will just rest on the top here with a little bit of work. Can't do anything in the garden without a little elbow grease, but it's not too bad. There we go. Nice. It looks beautiful. So let's show you what we're going to be planting in this thing, shall we? Okay, so in this tower, which has about 18 spots to grow, I'm going to grow some rosemary, because rosemary just smells beautiful and it tastes good in some food. I don't know, I prefer to smell it than eat it, but it does taste okay as well. I'm going to plant some dill. I made sure to get a more compact dill. I believe this one grows to be about 18 inches. Doesn't get very tall. It's a fern leaf dill. I think all dill look the same, sort of. So these ones are going to take up 2 homes. I've got some basil, and I'm going to put 2 plants of basil in each hole. And I've got 2 different types of kale. These are going to take up 4 holes. And then in seeds, I'm going to plant some lettuce. This is just a black seeded Simpson. I don't know. Just a regular lettuce. And I've got a gourmet blend of lettuce. And then I've got this is a patio snacker hybrid cucumber. This is meant to be for a container. So the vines only get to be about 3 feet long, and the cucumbers are going to be a little bit on the smaller side. So this will be fun to grow. I actually got this from one of my friend's seed companies, anythinggrows.com. I'll put the website down below, and also any information that you want to find out about the GreenStalk. I will also put the link below for GreenStalk. Really, really interesting system, as you can see. And also, if there's space, I want to try these Zinger hibiscus. I've always wanted to try growing these. They're really, really cool. You make the tea, the hibiscus tea, out of the pods. So very excited to try that if there's some space, and I think there will be some space. So anyway, without further ado, let's just get to the fun part and plant, okay? Oh, also, I have a curry plant. I wanted to try this out. I've never grown curry before, but it smells so nice. I wonder how I'd be able to use this in some cooking. So anyway, I want to keep the slightly larger things to the bottom. So I'm going to be planting some of the kale down here, and I'm also going to be planting some of the cucumber seeds down here. I am sweating. It's really humid today. Today it's going to reach 31 Celsius, and then with the humidity it's going to be much hotter. So I'm sweating right now as I'm doing this video, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9:30, and it's already really hot. Not complaining. It's been slow to get here, the heat anyway. So wow, these cucumber seeds are really small. Look at those. So I'm gonna plant 2 different holes of cucumber. I should actually make some labels for these so that I don't forget. I'll be right back with some labels. Okay, so I got my lettuce tag, my cucumber tag in there. I'm gonna plant 2 cucumber seeds in this spot here. You're not going to be able to see, but I'm going to be pressing them down about a ½ inch and just covering them up. Then we're going to go to the next row. I think I'm going to do some basil in the next row. Again, I'm just going to take two cell packs or 2 cells of basil. Basil smells so nice. And I'm going to just make little holes in here and then plant them in. Won't take long for them to take. And let's do the dill. Alright, making a nice big hole. I'm not teasing the roots so much with the dill because it hasn't really reached the edge of the pot completely and it's not spiraling around, so there's no need to stress it out anymore. Dill tastes so good. Oh my goodness, it's one of my favorites. So that has a little home now. Now we're going to go back because there's six trays in each. Each section has 6 growing sections. So this one is going to be cucumber again. So I'm just going to take 2 seeds of cucumber. We're going to plunk them in there about a ½ inch down and just cover them up. We're going to be watering these in again when we're all done. And then we add the basil. I like to have things uniform. You don't have to do it the way that I do it. You could plant this thing however the heck you want. But I like to have my my plants very uniform looking. Alright. I hope to make some pesto with these this season. And the other dill. Make a nice hole in there for it. With a fern leaf dill tag there. Same situation. See, the soil is just falling off anyway. There's no need to tease those roots. Alright. That looks fantastic. So the bottom row is now planted. Next row up. What are we going to do here? Let's do some lettuce. Can't even get into this seed package. They made it childproof. That's why I can't get in. Looks like I need to get some scissors. Be right back. So I didn't realize I turned the camera on, but I didn't start recording. So I've got the mix of lettuce. I did lettuce mix in this container and this container, and then I put regular green leaf lettuce in the container next door and the container next door. Then I planted the hibiscus, the Zinger hibiscus herbal tea. This one I got from anythinggrows.com, and they sell really interesting seeds. I recommend checking them out if you're within Canada. I don't think that they ship anywhere outside of Canada, but you can always send them a message and see what they can do. These ones I planted in between the lettuces. So I've got one here and one here. I planted 3 seeds per pod, so hopefully they grow. And yeah, stay tuned for that one. And I'll put the link to Anything Grows down below so that if you're interested in looking at their seed collection, feel free. They've got an interesting assortment. So on the top shelf, we are going to do the curry plant, we're going to do the rosemary, and we're going to do some kale. I chose the kale to go on the top. Kale gets quite big, but it gets really, really tall. So, well, not really, really tall, maybe 2 feet, but it gets wide. So I thought if it was wide, it's going to crush against the side and then make this device really, really wide. And I didn't want that. So these are going to go on the top with everything else you see here. So anyway, let's move the camera up so that you can see what's happening up there. Okay, so I'm going to start with this curry plant. I really love the smell of the curry plant. I'm going to have to read about it. Let me know what I can do with the curry plant. Does it need to get dried out, or can you just cut it and use it in food just the way that it is? What do you have to do? I've never used it. This is a dwarf curry plant, so it's not going to get too big. At least I hope not. This one I don't have to break the roots up, as we've been mentioning, because the roots have not taken over the pot completely. So we're just going to be careful and plunk it right in there so it's happy in its little home. We're going to put its tag there so that we remember what it is. And then we're going to, on this side, plant the rosemary. Oh, rosemary. Reminds me of Christmas. I don't want to think of Christmas right now because it's so beautiful outside, but it reminds me of a beautiful Christmas day. The turkey in the oven. Delightful. You guys are probably yelling at the camera, "Don't talk about that. I don't want to hear about Christmas. Let's have fun in the summer." So that looks really, really nice. It's going to grow. We're going to be able to harvest it. We're going to be able to have it with some poultry, maybe in some potatoes. I don't know what you use it for, but it will be great. Now we're going to do some of the kale. I'm going to plant 2 kale plants per hole. I'm going to plant these are, what one is this one? This one was a Russian blue kale or something. It just says kale on the tag. There's so many different varieties of kale now. In my garden centers, we're seeing kale pots. So we got lettuce pots last year so that you could just cut them and have a salad. Now that the kale is all the craze, I dropped one, poor little guy. Now that kale's all the craze, people have kale pots. It's really interesting. I love the way that kale looks. It's so ornamental, and it's so good for you. Look at how cute they are. Oh my gosh. So we're just popping those in there. Absolutely adorable. And now, okay, so I'm not having much luck today. My camera just turned off because it overheated. I hope I have some usable video. So anyway, I've got some of the Russian blue kale that I'm going to be planting next to the green kale. Really, really pretty. I was going to put kale on both sides, but then I realized that I bought a stevia plant. So the stevia is going to go in the space across the way that was going to be for the other group of kale. 6 plants of kale should be enough for 2 people for a while. So anyway, let's just move it around. These will go to the garden plot, so they won't go to waste. I still have the garden plot this year. This is just going to be the easy access garden plot right here. Just for the day-to-day things. I don't really want to drive to a garden plot to grab some leaf lettuce. I could do that from here. Stevia. I've never used stevia, but I want to give it a try. I might have some iced tea and then have some stevia leaves or something. A natural sweetener. There we go. So now I've got to water everything in. I'm just going to knock out all the dirt that got into this top part. I've got my hose here. And we're just going to water everything in. So we're going to water everything in here. This is the water reservoir, the main one. So as you fill it, the water should drip through. There's little holes here, and then there's a big hole here. As it fills, it's going to run down the central one, and then it's going to feed all of the ones down below. That's cool. It's really going down the center. It's going down there quick. So I'm also going to quickly water in all the little pockets because I've moved soil around. This will just compact it around, get rid of any air pockets. I won't have to do this all the time. I will do this regularly with the seedlings until they start to sprout. But once the roots develop, I won't need to water them individually anymore. Watering them centrally should be the best and easiest way to go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for updates on this garden. And again, I'll post links to the GreenStalk webpage, so you could go and get any questions answered by them, and potentially order one if you're interested. And also remember a link to Anything Grows Seed Company. Happy growing, everyone. As you can see here, got a nice growth growing on there like a potato. Also on some of these little roots that people said probably would not grow because they needed a bit of the base, we've got a little sprout here.